When someone dedicates themselves to mastering a skill, trains relentlessly, and pushes their abilities step by step, the results can become nothing short of spectacular. Ordinary techniques can turn into jaw-dropping performances that rival those of seasoned professionals. From incredible acrobatics to mind-bending magic tricks, watching people push the limits of what seems humanly possible is both inspiring and unforgettable. Here are 18 times that people showed what happens when someone spends years on one single motion until it stops looking human. Number 50. The hands that bend like they have no joints. A hand creeps backward across a desk, fingers folded so far past their natural range that it looks like it's walking on its own. Joints bent in directions a hand simply isn't supposed to move. If a normal hand tried the same motion, ligaments built far tighter than these would tear long before it ever looked like this. Number 49. Isao Machi slices a fastball with a katana. This is Isao Machi, a real Aikido master standing 30 feet from a pitching machine, drawing his katana and slicing a 100-meter-per-hour fastball clean in half before it ever crosses the plate. A major league hitter facing that same pitch from 60 feet away has roughly 38 hundredths of a second to react, and Machi is standing half that distance away using a sword instead of a bat, which is genuinely impressive. Number 48. Zoran Madzarov, the Bottle Man. This is Zoran Madzarov, seated in front of a shelf lined with dozens of bottles, each filled to a different level, his hands blurring across them fast enough to tap out a full melody using nothing but glass, water, and a trained ear. There's no keyboard, no strings, just pitch tuned entirely by how much liquid sits in each bottle. Madzarov invented the instrument himself, making the entire show even more astonishing to watch. Number 47. The Foot Painting Artist. With no hands involved at all, this artist grips a brush between his toes and paints with the same control most people reserve for their dominant hand, building up a detailed image stroke by stroke using only his foot. It's the kind of skill that takes years of deliberate practice to develop, since the foot simply isn't built with the same fine motor precision as the hand, and every stroke has to be relearned from scratch through repetition most painters never have to think about. Number 46. Fast knife work. A blade moves across meat at a speed that blurs the individual cuts together, each slice landing exactly where the last one ended, fingers tucked just far enough out of the way to avoid disaster by millimeters. It's spectacular to watch, precisely because the margin for error is so thin. Number 45. Freestyle Basketball with Rhythm by F3 Team. This is the F3 Freestyle Basketball Dance Group, spinning, dribbling, and passing a basketball between hands, feet, and body in perfect time with music, blurring the line between sport and choreography until it stops looking like basketball practice entirely. F3 is an actively performing group led by Captain Ludan, a freestyle basketball champion in his own right, and clips like this regularly go viral across TikTok, Douyin, and Instagram. Number 44. Skiing in barely any snow. A thin, patchy layer of snow, barely enough to cover the ground, turns out to be all the surface this skier needs, carving out real momentum and picking up real speed on a slope most people would take one look at and stay home. He's having fun, no doubt. Number 43. The Living Statue. This performer stands frozen on a street corner, painted head to toe in a single uniform color, close enough to a real statue that people walk right past without a second glance, until something about the stillness starts to feel wrong, and they stop to look twice. Standing this still for this long is harder than it looks. Seriously. Number 42. The street performer who draws a crowd. Within seconds of starting, this near-still performer pulls off moves that remind everyone of Raiden from the Mortal Kombat franchise, has an entire sidewalk stopped, phones out, a genuine crowd forming around what started as an empty patch of pavement. Number 41. Partner acrobatics. A performer moves through different bars, jumping and switching bars like they are an extension of his body. Skills like this are only possible if one has complete control over their body. Number 40. The line artist whose free hand beats a ruler. This is a factory worker hand tracing the black rubber ribs and channels onto a basketball, moving a marker across the molded grooves at a speed and precision that looks like it should belong to a machine, not a human hand. The molded groove varies just enough from ball to ball that only a trained eye catches the difference in real time. Number 39. The head balance featuring. This performer balances stacks of bricks on his head, holding everything together with precision and poise that's only possible with a very strong neck and core. The way he does this makes it look far less demanding than it actually is on the spine and neck muscles supporting the weight on his head. Number 38. The whole crew moves it together. It takes a full team working in exact unison to shift something this size, every person's timing locked to the count of the person next to them, since one person moving a half-second early or late throws off the whole lift. Coordinated group lifts like this rely far more on shared rhythm than on any one person's raw strength. Number 37. Skills that would keep you alive in the wild. Whatever this performer is demonstrating, it's the kind of practical physical competence that would genuinely matter if he were out in the wild instead of on camera. The sort of skill built from real time spent outdoors. Number 36. The street musician with unusual instruments. Using instruments that were clearly never designed for a concert stage, this street musician turns ordinary city noise into something closer to a full performance, blending unconventional objects into real, listenable rhythm and melody right there on the sidewalk. Number 35. Extreme Balancing Show by Wang Yekun. Years of training surely didn't go to waste as these men managed to balance an entire sewing machine weighing more than 20 kilograms on a bottle that's stacked on another bottle. What could go wrong, really? This impressive feat of physical equilibrium requires precision that is on another level, because a slight shift in weight to one side and everything collapses. Number 34. Kitchen work done entirely by hand. While most kitchens lean on gadgets for this exact task, this performer handles everything by hand instead, trading convenience for the kind of speed and control that only comes from doing something the harder way over and over, until it stops being the harder way at all. Number 33. The skateboard trick that actually lands. The trick clears with a clean movement, no wobble, no bail, the kind of result that only looks easy because the 100 failed attempts that came before it never made it into the video. Number 32. The feat of strength involving her own hair. This performer's hair takes on real load-bearing weight, strong enough on its own to prompt an obvious question about exactly what kind of routine keeps it that resilient. It's a genuinely unusual category of strength training built around conditioning hair and scalp rather than muscle. Number 31. Hitting the target in harmony. The target gets hit clean from a short distance. It's not hitting the target that's impressive. It's that the two boys repeatedly find the net in a synchronized manner without getting in each other's way. The kind of choreographed move that comes from repeating the same throw together thousands of times until the body stops needing to think. Number 30. The sitting still endurance feat. It looks like the simplest thing in the world, just sitting in one position without moving, but holding a single posture completely still for an extended stretch is genuinely exhausting. But the real miracle is that it looks like the person sitting on top is sitting on air. These look like monks from fiction stories. Number 29. Playing with fire. Flames move through this performer's hands like they're weightless, spinning and passing between fingers with total control, never once looking like they're at risk of catching anything but the intended target. Number 28. Light and shadow art. Using nothing but light, hand shapes, and imagination, this performer builds recognizable images out of shadow alone, working entirely off timing and precise hand positioning with no props to hide behind. Number 27. The performer with great balance. Armed with nothing but a tiny roller, this performer moves forward and rolls back over a thin rod. This requires an immense amount of strength and balance to pull off. Number 26. The illusion that fools the brain into seeing a mannequin. This performer holds a pose so precisely artificial-looking that the brain genuinely resists accepting it's a real person, right up until the smallest twitch of motion breaks the illusion completely. Getting the brain to make that mistake takes exact control over breathing and micro-movement most people never consciously think about. Number 25. The mentalist who reads a card without looking at it. This performer asks a volunteer to silently pick a shape from a set of cards, hold it close to their chest, and focus on sending it across the room using nothing but concentration. Seconds later, the performer correctly names it, to visible shock from everyone watching. This is a classic mentalism routine, most likely built on a psychological forcing method rather than genuine mind reading, since professional mentalists rely on statistics rather than any real telepathy. Number 24. Extreme contortion. This contortionist bends backward until her head passes between her legs, holding a position that looks almost impossible for an ordinary human body. But this isn't simply a matter of being naturally flexible. Number 23. The waiter who skates the whole shift. Carrying a full order without spilling a drop would be hard enough on foot. This waiter does it on roller skates, gliding between tables with a balance that makes the skates look like the easier option, rather than an added challenge. Number 22. Outstanding cardistry. A full deck of cards fans, spins, and folds through this cardist's fingers in shapes that have nothing to do with an actual card game, the display itself being the entire point, rather than any trick or reveal. Number 21. Wall climbing agility. This performer scales a vertical surface using nothing but grip strength and momentum, moving fast enough and controlled enough that Spider-Man stops feeling like just a movie character. Free-running and parkour-style wall climbing like this relies on building explosive upper body strength alongside the nerve to commit fully to a grip before it's actually secure. Number 20. The man who painted with a typewriter. British artist James Cook meticulously layers thousands of individually typed letters, numbers, and punctuation marks to form detailed tonal shading and perspective drawings that would seem unbelievable the more you look at it. Number 19. What looked like a game turns out to be a martial art. What plays at first like a fun game reveals itself to be a full martial art the moment the pace picks up. Technique and control he uses to hit the target with every thrown knife is nothing short of extraordinary. Number 18. Pool trick shots. This player sinks a sequence of shots that clearly weren't beginner's luck. Working angles and spin most casual players wouldn't even attempt, let alone land clean on the first try. Trick shot pool is its own competitive discipline, built around understanding spin, angle, and force well enough to make the improbable look routine. Number 17. Tillman the Bulldog sets the skateboarding speed record. This is Tillman, an English bulldog who set the Guinness World Record for fastest 100 meters on a skateboard by a dog, completing the distance in 19.678 seconds. His owner, Ron Davis, said Tillman was obsessed with the skateboard from the time he was a puppy, and that looks very obvious in this clip. Number 16. The bottle opening trick built to surprise a crowd. The cap comes off using a method that clearly isn't a bottle opener, executed with the kind of casual confidence that has been tried a few dozen times in practice. Great way to make yourself the center of a party as well. Number 15. The mentalist's card trick. This mentalist has a volunteer silently pick a shape from a set of cards, hold it close to their chest, and focus on sending it across the room using nothing but concentration, then correctly names it seconds later to visible shock from everyone watching. This is a classic mentalism routine, most likely built on a psychological force. Number 14. The levitating illusion. This figure remains suspended in the air as if gravity simply stopped applying to them, holding position with no visible support, leaving the audience to work out where the mechanism is hidden. Number 13. Stylish coffee service. This barista pours, spins, and presents a cup of coffee, and then sets the spoon inside with the kind of flourish most people only see in competition footage, turning up with the coffee in style. Number 12. Weightlifting waiter. With a weighting job that looks like a weightlifting competition, the guy sure doesn't have to go to the gym to build muscle after doing a few shifts every day. Number 11. Flair bartending shaker act. A cocktail shaker gets tossed, spun, and caught behind the back in a sequence that turns a simple drink order into a full circus-style routine, every motion timed for the crowd as much as the drink itself. Well, you still have to be fast enough not to slow down real service. And this guy isn't slow at all. Number 10. The street performer who leans past the point of falling. On an ordinary city street, this performer hovers by the wall as if gravity has momentarily retreated, passers-by freezing mid-step, trying to work out where the trick ends and reality begins. Well, there is a suspicion that something isn't right. Maybe a hidden rigid harness locking onto a disguised anchor built into the wall is what is letting her suspend her full body weight horizontally with both feet off the ground. The goal is for everyone to believe what they're seeing, and she sold the act. Number 9. The colossal balance featuring. This performer lifts herself and moves around a pole that looks unbalanced with a smoothness that makes the effort nearly invisible. No strained face, no shaking arms, just controlled motion, as if her body weight is negligible. Number 8. Rick Smith Jr. throws a card faster than a fastball. This is Rick Smith Jr., a former NCAA Division I pitcher who now holds the Guinness World Record for the farthest playing card throw, sending a card 216 feet 4 inches at 92 meters per second, a speed that beats most recreational baseball pitches. He transferred his pitching mechanic, wrist snap and all, straight into flat-bladed cardboard, and has since added 2 more Guinness titles for card throwing. Number 7. Kovac Georgi flips. Over 100 bottles in a minute. This is Kovac Georgi, a Hungarian bartender who flipped a bottle off the back of his hand 146 times in 60 seconds at a TGI Fridays in Liverpool, a Guinness World Record verified on the spot from slow-motion footage. That works out to roughly 2 full flips every second, sustained for a full minute without a single drop. Number 6. Max Park solves a Rubik's Cube. This is Max Park studying a scrambled Rubik's Cube for about 10 seconds before exploding into motion and solving it. One of 43 quintillion possible combinations before most people would even finish registering the colors. He set the 3.13-second world record in 2023, breaking a mark that had stood for nearly 5 years, using the standard CFOP method across just 33 moves. Number 5. Lily Hevesh builds a domino tower that never wobbled. This is Lily Hevesh, known online as Hevesh 5, leading a team of 10 domino artists in stacking 10,000 dominoes into a spiraling tower over 33 feet tall, a Guinness World Record set in 2024. One misplaced tile anywhere in that structure means the whole thing collapses before it's finished. It didn't. Number 4. Zarbek Swanov skips rope on a galloping horse. This is Zarbek Swanov performing jigotovka, the traditional Cossack style of trick riding, dating back centuries to Turkic and Cossack cavalry technique. To the ordinary person, this move is impossible. Standing fully upright on a horse at a full run, swinging a jump rope in rhythm with its stride, and clearing it over and over without a wobble. But Zarbek has been doing this for a very long time, something that's gained him quite a number of followers. Number 3. Nick Wallenda crosses the Grand Canyon on a wire with no net. This is Nick Wallenda, a 7th-generation high-wire artist from the famous Flying Wallenda's circus family, walking a 2-inch steel cable 1,500 feet above the Little Colorado River Gorge near the Grand Canyon in 2013, completely untethered, with no net and no safety harness below him. A lifetime of training compressed into a walk, where a single misstep would have been fatal. Number 2. Alex Barron juggles 11 balls at once. Alex Barron, a British juggler who set the Guinness World Record for most balls juggled, keeping 11 in the air for 23 consecutive catches. Each additional ball beyond the basic 3 adds exponentially more difficulty, since the juggler has less time between throws and catches to correct even a tiny error, which is exactly why the record had gone so long without being touched. Number 1. Cheyenne Garnier, the first world freestyle football champion. This is Cheyenne Garnier, keeping a football aloft through spins, stalls, and behind-the-neck catches that blend football touch with break-dance-style body control, moving the ball like it weighs nothing at all. What looks like showing off is a genuine sport with its own judged technical vocabulary, built from thousands of hours spent making a ball do things it was never designed to do. Thanks for watching. Now check out the videos popping up on screen for more fascinating stories.